So, Discord, the Discord overlay, it doesn't want to work today. So you guys just have to kind of figure out the voice. I'll have to figure that out later. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm sure it's fine. There are 44 episodes in. If people aren't used to your voices yet, I don't fucking know. Okay.
Yeah, I'll Odyssey.
I wish I sounded that hot. All right, let's do this. All right, and by that I mean Australian. Okay.
Well, fine.
All right, let's do this. Let me take a sip of my copper. Housekeeping before we begin. Twitch has decided that they no longer want there to be a shit ton of highlights and stuff on Twitch. So what that means is I am going to have to now start only be using YouTube. Now, I already do have everything on YouTube, so that's fine. That's great. If you guys scroll below my Twitch channel, there is a link to the archives. You can go there, and I will have everything in there. So all the Owlbear's Roost episodes will be there now, because Twitch has decided they don't want to store more than 100 hours worth of video. What that means is the episodes will all be there. So if you guys are looking for the VODs and whatnot, you'll have to go to the YouTube for it. It also means that the VOD, or specifically the archive for it, won't happen until the 1st of the month, because that's when I upload everything. So have a little bit of patience. I just don't do it after every stream. But yeah, so that's a little housekeeping. That also means like other episodes and stuff, like my specifically the Fallout London, Satisfactory, Elden Ring, all that stuff will have to just be on YouTube now, and I'll make sure it's kind of in a playlist at some point. All my roleplay interrogations and whatnot. I'll debate whether or not I keep them cut separately. Maybe just keep like the ones that I like the most on there. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So give me time with that. Because that's going to be a pain in the arse to parse through. Especially because I was planning on doing a big video for some stuff. So, but yeah, that is the housekeeping for that. As always, you know, I might even add a I'll add a command to the Owlbear's Roost commands, so it's easier to find it. I'll put like a little VOD thing. So that way you guys can see that easier. But yeah, that's that. That's that for that. So with that in mind, Shannon's internet is currently down. They're fixing it. Said it should be up within the hour. Pez is rolling out of bed. So we should have everyone today by the end. So, unless there's anything else, we shall begin with... I just realized the music stopped. Why? Because it was... Alright. Fine. I see how it is. But... I see how it is. We'll just edge instead.
Phrasing?
Anyways, also the overlay for today is off because it seems not to be working, so I'll keep checking, but yeah. All right. Then let us begin this week's episode of Owlbear's Roost. Last we left off, our team Toast had located what appeared to be an enclave of friendly undead. Undead that appeared not to be blindly following the will of whom was referred to as the Baroness. Our group briefly spoke to what appeared to be the leaders of this group, but were told to take a little break prior to doing so. In this break, they went to a pub. A pub called To Die For. In doing so, they had a couple drinks. Nothing crazy. However, during this, two of our adventurers had drinks that appeared to have some sort of hallucinogenic within it. Zara saw the hallucinogens of puppet strings upon their arms being used by nothing but a weapon. And Ephlia saw strange wisps and soul-like creatures reaching out for the people she cared about. Luckily, someone who seemed practiced in types of magic was able to calm your emotions in it all. And as you all took the time, I believe during the short rest, you as in Ori, you went to attune to the shard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very well. As you sit there and try to find the rhythm of the magics that reside within to bring its rhythm with yours, you start to see glimpses of home, but not in the typical way of a memory, not in visual sensations, not even sounds or smells. You start to feel the emotions of home, the vividest of which, growing up, stuck with you. And as you feel your magic begin to link with it, those emotions overwhelm. They start to feel almost like you're there. Just as someone would relive trauma throughout their whole body, you are reliving not just the bad, but the good as well. It's a weird sensation. Not when you're unfamiliar with, because there are things back home that would cause such sensations, but it's a bit jarring. And for what I'm going to ask then is a wisdom save. However, it could be an advantage because this is home, and attuning with this item is bringing you memories of home, but there needs to be a sort of conceited effort to withstand that sort of overcoming of emotion.
Hey. Oh,
15.
the dichotomy.
At first, it's a lot. It's like a wave. It's your memories of when you first saw death, or memories of loss. You have a childhood memory of losing something that you cared a lot about. It's painful, and that sort of physical response that your body has to such emotion is present. However, there's the good as well. Friends, loved ones, pets, people you care about. Maybe the first time you succeeded at something. And it's those memories that you can hold on to. And with those memories, that you're able to push through the rest. And as you do, you feel that internal resonance within the shard itself align with yours. And it begins to feel like you and the shard are one, in some sense of the word. You are officially attuned to this. Now, you can attach this to a weapon or a piece of jewelry. Do you intend to do so, or you want to hold on to it? What's your plan?
I'm double checking some of my stuff. I don't. I don't have any jewelry to attach it to, but I would probably.
What was your focus?
My current focus is just the crystal arcane focus of the Ima Elini version.
Do you know how you were wearing it, or you were just holding it?
I was just holding it. I would probably attach that. Let me double check. I'd probably attach it to one of my daggers. I don't use them often because I don't go up and attack in melee, but I do have them.
You don't have to attach it to anything, by the way.
I know. I could just hold on to it, but
yeah, and you can use it as a spellcasting focus, so you could attach it to your focus. I would be fine with that. But if you want to attach it to your dagger, that's perfectly fine.
We can attach it to my focus. I'll have double focus.
Yeah, the crystals sort of mend into each other, and there's sort of a dichotomy between the energies within. But you feel confident that if you were to cast your magic and amend it, this shard will maybe do something. Well, you now know actually the specifics of it now that you're attuned.
Yep.
All right.
Magic theory.
I have a barbarian using wild magic and a sorcerer using wild magic now. Very well. As the time in the pub comes to an end, is there anything else anyone would like to do during your break? Pez, I know you were in the corner. I should inform you that the hallucinations have since gone, thanks to the work of the mysterious woman who was speaking to a familiar tiefling. Emelina, I believe you have stepped away, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember where you went, or you just wanted to go somewhere? Did anyone else go with you? Was it Lavetta who went with you?
I think Lavetta tried.
Hmm.
I'm correct. But I don't think... I think Zara shut her out.
Okay. As you step outside, one of those sort of stoic and strange guards clad in armor that you're sort of having a back and forth with prior is keeping a distance as you step outside, but is still on your tail.
Yeah, that's fine, as long as he keeps his distance.
Yeah, it seems that they're just trying to make sure you're not, one, getting into trouble, and two, not getting trouble to you.
Yeah, Zara respects that.
As you walk around, you see a couple different options, okay? So you step out into the step out of the pub, which is in the northeastern corner. You see on the far side, there appears to be some sort of like what would have been like offices or maybe like meeting rooms of some sort. You know, smaller rooms that deals were probably made in back in the day. That's to your west. You also see some sort of corridor with flickering lights coming through, likely candlelit, which is weird because you're not really seeing a lot of lighting in here. It is pretty dark. The only ambient light that you're really getting is from the glass ceiling. There's further things to the south. You also see near where you're at right now appears to be where all the guards are hanging out based on the armor and the sort of what appears to be where they're likely based. You also see steps that head upwards into the scaffolding that you saw that was sort of haphazardly placed along. Have you ever seen photos of Kowloon Walled City?
What?
Kowloon in it was technically a part of China. It's not relevant, but it was in Hong Kong, and it was this sort of small blocked-in area where it was like technically still part of China. My point is, in this, a lot of it was just sort of, there was no real laws that maintained safety standards within it. It was very much a people just built whatever the fuck they wanted. It was very dystopian, like almost cyberpunky dystopian, where there was no uniformity. People were very clearly just not thinking of safety when they would build in here. I'll send you a few photos just so you can get an idea. But my reasoning is the sort of kind of mismatched, dangerous almost, building standard essentially is what you're kind of seeing here, right? Of this scaffolding that's kind of just built across the ceilings and like little nooks. You see like a little balcony's kind of been built into it. But yeah, I sent you some photos there. But yeah, this is basically that's what you're seeing here, right? Is you're seeing these. There's no uniformity to it, right? Because they're all undead. you'd have to imagine if they fall or something bad happens, probably not going to kill them that much. So there's not really a whole standard, but there's a lot of old stalls that have been built into it. You see some recycled materials, right? Like you see some what likely was coverings for a stall or signs that have been turned into a wall. You see carts that have been broken down, and maybe someone's using a wheel as a window, very much using what they had to build up there. But yeah, that's all the way. There's like a steps that go up the center, not the center, but like the northern center bit, that if you were to go up that way, you could go there, or you could explore more to the south if you were to wish. So you have a few options here.
Zara would be most drawn to the one of the first things you said, with like the little small rooms where deals were made.
Yeah. So to your west, you see, you would approach that, and you're approaching some of the older corridors there, and that's where that flickering light is. But just a little bit near it is the smaller rooms in the meeting rooms, and as you walk in, as that guard, their armor sort of clanking behind you, you kind of peek in to some of the rooms. The doors are occasionally open, and you see various people clad in robes or torn clothing sat at tables, and around them occasionally are books. They look to be old, not very standardized. They look pretty gross, but more noticeably, a large number of them on these shelves that appear to have been made for these books are also bones. Carved into them appear to be different shapes. You can't really see from here, but they appear to be carved and sort of orderly lined across these shelves. And at these tables, you see some of these guys. One of them has got a book open, and next to him, he's got like a pile of bones that don't appear to be carved, and he's got one he's holding that he's using a sharpened tool to carve into them. And you watch as his head turns to the book, flips a page, and then carves a little bit more into the bone. But yeah, that's kind of what you're seeing. You're seeing that over and over again. I mean, some of these rooms, these people are flipping through the bones and like looking through them and searching for them. But these people appear to be keeping some sort of knowledge, and as you pass through, some of them look and kind of stare and tilt their head at you, but they don't seem too bothered by your presence.
Zara, I think, naturally slinks in not in, but like around the most shadowy, dark parts of the area. She's been on both sides. She's been the one making the deals, and she's been the one spying on the deals. And just slowly, moves around, trying to blend in a bit while keeping an eye on these bones.
It's interesting because as you're looking through this, you're not feeling a familiarity in any of it. This doesn't appear to be shady deals, weirdly enough. It appears that whatever these rooms were once used for, they've been adapted into where they are carving into these bones. But if you want to give me if you're kind of passively looking at it, just give me a perception check. So
I don't
it's
know
hard
where
to
that
tell without I
was.
see that.
Yeah.
Without
Oh,
like,
never mind. I saw floors.
without going directly into the room and kind of just wandering the halls here and there, you don't you can't really see what's on there, but as you keep an eye, there's almost a familiarity to you in the shorthand that's being used. Whilst it's not a direct thing that you are able to translate, you do notice that they are using certain iconography in the bones that is reminiscent of Thieves' Cant's pictorial side. So with Thief Cant, you have the hand movements to gesture and the sort of slang. Thieves' Cant's a really weird language in that it's shorthand, basically. You have the hand movements, which can justify and translate things. You've got the coded language that is used, but then you also have the pictorial side of it, which is very similar to you ever played Minecraft, or not Minecraft, Skyrim?
Yes.
You know the shadow marks in Skyrim, which were like the carvings for the Thieves Guild?
Oh, yeah.
Very similar to that. So I just sent you a picture of what they might look like.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
this isn't specifically what they are,
Yeah.
but
no.
it's like things similar, where it's
Yes.
like iconography, and from what you can ascertain, it's very likely used as a shorthand of some matter. But yeah, as you approach those sort of flickering candle lit halls, you start to get overwhelmed by a smell from that way. Not an unpleasant smell, it just seems to be a mixture of candle smells. But that is about where you get before the guard kind of approaches you and gestures back towards the where you were meant to meet the council. Now, whether or not you follow is up to...
Zara gives him a look, which is just a blank look. But it's pretty obvious that, like, it's like a... If she would have rolled her eyes, but she didn't roll her eyes, but then she just walks away, like, back to the tavern, just without saying a thing.
Alright. They don't give you any trouble. And as it appears like as you return that the guard who was keeping an eye on you all has begun to gather the party, informing them that the time has come for you to meet the council. So with that in mind, is there anything else anyone would like to do prior to that? Very well. As I said before, all but two of you can mark down your short rest. Those who underwent hallucinations are going to be 2 on edge to my goodness, my brain
Short
is
rest. Yeah.
Thank you my brain just completely fucked up, but yeah. As you are all gathered, the lady who had helped you guys before with that sort of reddish pinkish hair and the glowing eyes, long ears, looks to you all. Don't be a stranger, should any of you need anything. I know this is probably a bit unorthodox for you all to see. Very typically, I am found in the Temple of Undeath. It's to the west of here, on the western side of the exchange. So should there be anything that you all need, please don't be a stranger. I am sure that the goddess would be more than willing to hear your prayers should you need to reach out for anything. She bows her head. Althea, as you're leaving, you're kind of uneasy, feeling, that sort of come down from like a really bad cry or a fight where you just feel icky. That's what you're feeling right now, as you feel kind of uneasy. Even though the magic has calmed you down, you still feel a little bit ugh. And as you're sort of picking up your bag and looking around, you notice that pink tiefling just watching you as they drink their drink. But the 6 of you leave, headed back towards the center. A small crowd has begun to form on the sort of outskirts of the center auctioneer platform. And where those chairs, the 7 chairs were in a circle, where you only saw 3 before, you see 4 new individuals amongst the, what would you presume to be the rest of the ministry. You see someone who is in almost dirt-covered clothing. It's mixed, matched. They seem to have a more, they still have that paler skin, but the look about them gives you working class in terms of manual labor. They've got a pair of gloves stuck in their belt, a few tools that are sort of pocketed in here and there, and that's one individual you see there. You see another one who is wearing robes along the across their body. You also notice that part of their skin along their arms has been exposed, and carved into the bone are various pictures, and almost tattooed into the bone itself along some of that remaining skin is an ink-like decoration of tattoos, various different pictures and symbols and everything across it. This person appears to be an older individual, though it's really hard to tell with the undead. Beyond that, you see what appears to be a more masculine figure, cloaked in black. The patch that everyone else seems to have, this one seems to be done with black and is sort of on the chest, but blends in almost the leather. They're wearing a hood that hides most of their features, and you can see a black in color mask covering their face. Very little to be seen about this individual. And the last new person also gives off that sort of working class clothing, but there's something a little bit different about this individual. Their skin is more of a bluish pale color. Their arms seem to be a bit longer, and whilst there's still dirt along their fingertips and smudges across the various different parts of their body, their back is almost hunched a little bit, and you see as they lift up and they sort of adjust their shirt a little bit, that seems to be caught on a bit of bone sticking out, and their tongue comes out. Their tongue almost 1.5 foot long, this long sort of red slithering like thing, as they lick a little bit, and then their tongue rolls back into their mouth. The individual who greeted to you before as the leader, the scythe bearer, still holding the scythe amongst them, steps forward, looking at you all. Well, is everyone returned? I hope that we didn't waste too much of your time. You're all honored guests for us, and we would hate for you not to be able to speak to the entire council. As for, and you see as he kind of steps back and they look around, for the rest of the exchange to wish to watch over this endeavor, 'tis your right in this establishment, but we ask that you maintain some sort of level of decorum for our guests. We would hate that there be interruptions throughout the discussion. You watch as they step back a little bit, and they gesture to the full remaining. I know I had introduced the three of us prior, but I would be remiss to not do so for the rest of the ministry. They gesture to the one clad in the leathers. This is Xavier. They are the head of, and you see as they think for a second, the moths, our scouts, if you will. They gesture to the first of the working laborers. This is Anne-Claire. She works as the head of the tenders. They farm the mushrooms so that we may all eat and sustain our hunger. They back up and gesture to the sort of pale blue-skinned individual. This is Clovis. Clovis is the head of the laborers. The various tasks are required for more physical labor in our town, and Clovis here is their representative. As for and they gesture to the one who's clad in the robes with the tattoos, this is Emile. They are the concierge de savoir, the keepers of knowledge. They are in charge of ensuring that our history is recorded, maintained, and that we may learn from what knowledge that we have garnered. So, now that you have met the seven of us, I believe a proper introduction to who and what we are is in order. We call ourselves the Exchanged. We are the remnants of those who have been freed from the curse. Well, not curse, I suppose. Horrid existence that we once all lived. And it is to the scythe that we thank that opportunity. Typically, everyone would have the opportunity to speak to the council, and you being the first guests here in our settlement, it is no different. So, you had informed us that it is your intention to stop the Baroness and to locate some sort of item. Is that correct?
Yes. There is a relic or artifact of some kind that we believe has been brought to the Baroness or given to the Baroness by a race that is akin to cousins of of our ranger fest here.
But not
Also known
to
as
you.
Professor.
They gesture to you, confused.
That's a long story. We're not gonna. I don't think we want to get into that part.
Oh, okay. Understood. Continue.
They're called the Kenku. We were informed that they procured this artifact, and we believe that they brought it to the Baroness. My studies of the curse, the magic, the ley lines, has led me to believe that this artifact could be what is empowering the cycle of the flow of energy, because it seems like all of the energy, the life energy in particular, and magic seems to be drawn into the center of wherever the center of the circle is. It's somewhere here in Pelosi. I don't know exactly where though.
There's a sort of wave of whispers from the crowd who assembled. And whilst you stand between that, it's clear that people are interested in what you have to say.
We unfortunately had a member of our party partake of some of the bounties of the field that were tainted by the curse and the energy drain. And there were so many afflictions associated with it that while I wish we could have saved them, they did not make it. But we got it allowed us to study a little bit more, though I wish it hadn't happened.
They kind of think for a moment. The one who has been introduced as the keeper of knowledge, or one of the keepers of knowledge, looks at you, speaks up. I must say, we do not have a lot of living people to well, see firsthand of what you describe. Emelina will be back. Sure, Cat turned off her PC.
No.
We don't have, but we have noticed occasional things with the mushrooms. It's interesting because they undergo an effect that appears to be draining them very slowly. So it is our understanding that whatever is occurring, anything living, is slowly being affected. As to this blight that you explain, I am not familiar.
Yeah, this blight effect that has it is expanded to the fields outside of Belosia, and to there's actually I believe it's the forest line is basically where we notice that it isn't effective anymore. The problem is that without time to study it. I can't tell if the effect is spreading over time, as in it growing larger, affecting more area, or if it's just a constant. This is what's affected by it or not.
Would
There's
be
also
interested in taking samples. But proceed.
of the blighted plants. And
That's
such?
correct, yes. And I would happily work with Aunt Claire, who I'm sure would be willing to lend her expertise.
That
Yeah.
one woman nods their head.
But as far as we are aware, any food or provisions here in Belosia and within this effect are what has been tainted by all of this. We are, as living creatures ourselves, are unable to eat them without risking what happened to our fellow.
Wait. I thought it was interesting. I would challenge that idea. Whilst I have no one here living to confirm that, our mushrooms have not been seen to appear blighted. Was there a physical look to them that gave away on whatever your friend ate?
We did find, like, there were, like, rotted bits of chicken and whatnot, like carcasses.
Yeah,
But I'm not sure if it was rotted.
because
I'm
of the
not
blight
sure
and
as to the speed of how fast it rotted. Was it already going bad when he took it? Because we didn't see
when he
stashed
Procured.
the stuff away and when he ate it. So
yeah.
we don't have a clear timeline as to the decay
Yeah.
or look of the food over time, because our party had been very clearly told, do not partake in the food, and
Yeah. And
he just did not listen.
Unfortunately, the other set of individuals we found, who seemed to have partaken in food. They weren't alive when we arrived, so we couldn't check. But the food itself was rotted by the time we arrived, and we had no way to discern when they might have passed.
Or what it looked like when they were partaking in it.
Yeah.
Can't remember, as we were cleaning out the mansion, if we found. I think we basically just threw out everything that we found, unless it was like
Obviously
wrapped up, packaged up,
Yeah.
like shelf stable kind of stuff.
You say you have a base of operations?
Mansion. You mentioned a mansion.
Yes.
Good.
I don't know how many of you are familiar with the wineries of Belosia.
There's quite a lot of them, but it cannot say that we have taken too much of a particular interest in such alcohol, considering we can have to feel it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our base of operations is one of those wineries and houses.
Understood. That is good for should we need to communicate with you all.
Can I ask a question? You're obviously more familiar with the city. Were you familiar with a facility that was worshiping like a purity cleansing goddess? I can't remember the name right now.
Mm,
Where there were prisoners being held there and like purified in sick rituals. It seemed that it was taking place over quite an extended period of time. It seems separate from
There's a
the
bit of whispering.
specifics of the curse.
One of them, the lady who's in the clad armor, who has previously been introduced to you as Violet.
Well, I presume you're referring to Pyrrhus, the goddess of purity.
mm.
The only thing I can think of is that would any be anywhere near what you were referring is there was an asylum not too far from here, but I don't believe there was any sort of. We haven't had anything come from that anything time recently. Why do you ask? It's been sealed off.
It's empty
We
now.
we broke into it. It's
That is interesting.
so during our first incursion into the city, we roused a bit of the horde, and in our attempts to get away, we happened across the entryway and we disabled the spell, concealing it, and were able to attain entry into the asylum, as you put it. And
The
we
one
were able to
cloud
see what
in
was going
black
on.
leathers sits up a little bit, intrigued by what you're saying. Violet nods, recognizing why this person's a little bit more interested. I will say, some of us did attempt to get into there. It's peculiar that you were able to. But what we know of that asylum, it was a simple mental asylum that I believe had been used to house. I'm quite unsure of what you describe.
Let's just say, they were quite zealous in their cleansing of mental afflictions.
There's no need to pull punches here. It was horrible. They were doing horrible things in there. And we did not find, we being more peaceful ourselves, we did not attack anything that we found in there, and we were trying to ascertain what was going on. And in the course of our over the course of over the course of our investigations, we discovered a presence of one who was still alive, and he helped us a great deal, and it seems like he was kind of seeking his own revenge on those who were doing the torturing, and was keeping them alive to torture the torturers of his lost companions. But it seems like everyone who was there had some kind of powers that didn't fit in with the ideas that I suppose these zealous worshippers of Purus felt should be had.
This person
and
still lives.
Yes, though drastically changed from their original form.
That is interesting.
And
The keeper speaks up.
He would be remiss to say that I would love to meet this person and how they were able to survive here in the city.
Well, I mean,
I think
considering the fact that the asylum was sealed off for so long, because of their power, I think that's safe to say how they, quote, survived. I don't think the undead managed to get in there either. I should say the general, controlled
horde.
Kind of call
Horde.
them... yes, the shackled, the chained, the shamblers.
Shackled.
It's complicated. I do not wish to pull you into the politics of the exchange, but there was a great disagreement on how to handle those who have not yet been freed. But like I said, we will not bother you with the mundane. But I must say that I don't believe any of us have heard of anything regarding Pyrrhus. That is an interesting conundrum. I don't even believe the counselors have anything to do with Pyrrhus, as they're not one of the 8, or not Sephany. But that is interesting, and we shall keep that in mind. As to your quest of ascertaining this object that you believe...
Impressively retrieving it.
Yes. If it is in the hands of the Baroness, well, I don't...
He kind of looks up and looks at the individual who's dressed in the leather, and then kind of looks to the scythe bearer. There's a sort of knowing look between the two of them. Almost like they're communicating, not telepathically, but sort of just in looks alone.
As only a certain level of understanding between two individuals can be communicated through eye motions and whatnot.
He speaks up a bit.
I think it's important that you know.
Very, very hesitant and choiceful on the words.
Where we believe the energy is being drained to does not appear to be where the Baroness has typically been encountered. So it is very possible she has it safeguarded.
Hmm.
And I would be remiss to not tell you that that it appears it likely is going to be inside the upper city.
Yep.
Which your entrance into, well, needless to say, none of us have been able to achieve it. It is blocked by, well, not only the gates themselves, but powerful wards that not even
Madeline, he gestures to the sort of ghost-like woman.
or her conjurers have been able to do anything about. Now, there is an assumption that the more heavily guarded places in the lower city likely share a connection to this location and these walls that we are.
The foci for the wards.
That is the.
His eyes sort of look back and forth.
A general idea. However, the Baroness is an enemy to us all. So you dispatching her would be. I am certain would be much appreciated. Such such is we would not wish for her to raise anymore, as I'm sure you understand.
Yes, I imagine that more shackled would weigh heavily on you all.
Yeah. I think the politics of the city would be remiss, as both sides can agree untimely overthrow would forward the goals of both of our factions. Right. I am mindful of the words that I use here, as I do not wish to I do not wish to put any of my people in danger. Our people. So we would be happy to provide you with that information should the council vote on doing so, for you to see for yourselves the difficulty that I think you are going to have. Even our Death Keepers have been unable to do much about the situation, to say the least. Perhaps your group will have a better chance at this all. As to this plague curse, whatever you're saying is ongoing with the crops and life of this land, I think myself and a few of the others would be glad to study this and assist with our knowledge, should you give us the opportunity to.
Are you able to leave the city to come to where we're seeing this, or would it be preferable for us to go and retrieve samples for you?
Either way, is we can send a caravan to collect them from you. We could send our own retinue, but typically we don't leave the city that much, not because of any physical reason, more so it's just a safety thing. If we were to have somewhere to ensure our safety whilst we study this, we would be more inclined to do so. Now, it would be up to the council as well, but yes.
There was one other thing that I believe I mentioned to the 3 council members we met first, about creatures that are part, well, they are part undead and also still part alive. I don't know if any of you have seen creatures that may fit a description such as that, but
Can you remind me, OOC, what you mentioned?
I was specifically talking about the undead-ish bird messenger.
Oh, right, yeah. It's at this point the keeper looks around. Max seeks out the scythe bearer. I had briefly mentioned it to the rest of them, and there was no sort of understanding what this could have been. Perhaps Amir's sort of, research retinue party could look into this as well. I can't say that any of us would be seeing really much of any life here, other than the occasional rabid beast that makes its way into the city, but to be honest with you, they haven't done so much as of late. So... I apologize, but we don't have any more information on that.
Okay. That is fine.
Right. So, it is my understanding that I believe the councillor is intending to call 2 votes prior to the end of this. Is there anything else that you believe is pertinent for discussion and vote before we continue?
I think the only other thing that I would like to ask, and forgive my impertinence if it is considered to be so, but is the shackled, do you view them as like they could become unshackled? Like, would you prefer that we try to settle things without using violence against them?
There's sort of a silence that whispering has sort of
I'm gonna
died down.
whisper to Fess. I think that's part of the politics, because I think some people think they can be saved and some can't, or something they can't.
Yes. Okay.
No, it is important that you understand sort of the basis of how we operate here. Yes, some of the Mort Guardian would carry less lethal ways of apprehending the shackled. Should look, they pause for a little bit, like genuinely trying to think of the right words for this. Clearly, it's a touchy subject. There's a lot of thought there, but
yeah.
Prim, hopefully Echo's still awake.
I'm awake. Hi.
As you're standing there and kind of just watching what's going on, the oh so familiar voice creeps into your head. I hate politics. It's back and forth nonsense. You know, you don't have to stay here for this. You could easily go and continue my will.
You don't need to worry about this corruption or whatever nonsense I think you're currently on.
From just listening, but not really acknowledging, curious as to where they want them to go, kind of thing. Because if they speak out loud, they're going to look like a loon.
Do you think anything?
For someone who thrives on me being polite, telling me to leave something so formal as this, that's kind of against everything you asked of me before.
What use do you have dealing with these, whatever they are? There's so much out there for us to corrupt, and I'll be honest with you, my little primrose, I can't quite do much with the undead. This whole city is useless. I don't know how you don't see it.
Room just stays quiet.
You know, for a champion of mine, you're quite difficult. Quite... There's sort of a... It's a weird change of tone, almost, in that you've not seen them get too heavily emotional, necessarily, throughout all this. There's something that they are not happy with, and it's unclear why.
What is it that you want me to do?
You are of the belief that if you are still searching for a way to forego death, these abominations are not your answer. Your answer lies with me. You know that. You know that I can show you true life beyond death.
If I left here, what would you have me do?
Well, perhaps I was...
There's sort of, as they're listening to the discussion, because it's sort of ongoing whilst everything's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, perhaps I was wrong. It takes a lot for me to admit, my dear Prim. That item that they so desperately want, I wonder what we could do with it. I wonder what you and I could achieve with its power.
Rim just hangs on the thought of it for a few seconds. And just
Maybe-
tries to shake it all off.
Maybe leaving isn't the right answer. Maybe sticking to group of nonsense is the right way. I was wrong. I need you to ensure that you are not going to falter from that, should you be given the option to. You understand me?
Yes, I do.
Try to do anything stupid to free yourself from my gifts that I have given you. Try to stray the path. I would be, quite disappointed, you understand, and I would more than happily take away such gifts that I have given you.
I understand.
Good. Good. That sort of confidence that sort of faltered for a second comes back. My dear,
Cough,
there
red flag, cough.
What'd you say?
I said cough, red flag, cough.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a red flag. I'm Prim. Hi.
Hi.
My fears are not unfounded. There are things at play here that not even I am familiar with. But we need not worry about the machinations of lesser beings. Not need to worry about the machinations and desires of lesser gods, should they call themselves that. No. You do the right thing here, Primrose. You ensure your loyalty to me, and I will ensure that you have every gift that you ever desire. Once the will of my doctrine is brought upon every single being, don't you wish to be there by my side? There are things at
Prim
play
doesn't answer.
that when they happen, that when that will is brought forward, you're going to wish you were on the right side. Continue to be obedient. Continue to be loyal. And you and I are going to be successful. So stay here. Listen to the sort of rabble and nonsense of abominations. Know that you are working towards something much, much, much greater. Thank you, my little flower. You are always so... fearful. Voice disappears.
Prim just leans over and leans over to one of the others and says, "Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't been paying attention. What are we talking about?" Whoever's like closest to them.
We'll say Zara.
Zara is completely still hyper-focused on her hallucination. Even though she's back, she hasn't really given much reaction.
You two, that's fair.
She
And then Prim goes
she
back to like
she
half
she
paying
she
attention.
keeps looking ahead of her. There's a slight glance, like in the corner of her eye, but she does not turn her head towards Brim.
I don't feel that way about a lot of people talking to it. It's okay.
People don't shut up.
Prim takes that
Right.
as them telling them to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Back to the discussion at hand. Max is at the beginning. The Scythebearer is speaking over to you. There are two factions in this city that are at play. There is a fraternity, and there is a cleric. Fraternity believes that we must all fight for, what did they say? Freedom of everyone. That's typically where the less lethal comes into play. There's a cleric. If you were to ask the current majority of our council, this second chance at life was kind, and we owe it to so much. It would be better to free those from the shackles in a more permanent way. Who's to say that this current undeath is not a curse in itself? That we still stay here as a further chance at torment. So, to answer your question, it is up to you all and what you make the decision. Were you to ask the majority, as it stands, I believe we would tell you to see to it as you normally would. But I think a large number of people here in the city might disagree with that mentality. So for me to just give you blanket permission to do either one or the other, well, that is not my place to do. I have to represent everyone
Understandable.
here.
Yes. Thank you for answering a delicate question. We will endeavor to do what we can to survive, but also respect.
Could any of them
Beings that we come across.
Could any of them survive? Takes a moment. You see, he raises his free hand to pinch the sort of bridge of his nose. I am certain the Mortgardine would not be against you bringing them to their custody, so that should the council change in how many ever months' time, we would release them from that. Perhaps a vote can be had, but I can't promise anything. There is a lot of minute sort of nuance to all of this, as I'm sure you understand.
Of course. And also, I will say, if we find any that seem to be unshackled, that don't have affiliation with you, is there any way for us to identify if they have affiliation? Because I do not wish to expose your establishment here to those who are not safe.
Well, let me put it this way. I'm certain that the Baroness is familiar with us, that we are...
I believe she called you a thorn in her side.
That sounds about right. She is, look, if she were to send her armies into here, who's to say that we won't free them all and turn them on her? That's sort of the standoff that we have.
Yep.
We, should you come across anyone, one, they likely were freed by us, because I don't believe there's any other way. They could have been freed beyond the scythe. Not that we have understood, and trust me, we've tried.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how the first Unshackled came to be.
It was through the discovery of the scythe. But, basically,
It's a curiosity that could be answered at another time.
the scythe was found by the scythe was found, and it sort of became passed down. There's a lot of sort of uncertainty as he tries to answer this, or is it uncertainty clouding? It's a weird sort of unanswer.
As if like they don't
It's as
fully
if they don't
know.
really know.
Yeah.
Look, someone found it and it's been passed down, and here is, that is the total tradition. It is my belief that the original individual does not wish to be identified or named, but I am sure that is somewhere within our archives. It's a complicated sort of ongoing thing. That said, it's funny, Zara, and only Zara.
Yeah.
Are you watching these people at all, or are you still just thinking about the hallucination?
I'd say she's watching them more because of it. Like, she always is in a constant state of checking the people around her.
Mm-hmm.
But it put her on edge. Especially because her first instinct was that Lovetta didn't have her first interest in hand, so now she, like, double focuses on what the people around her are doing.
The Death Knight, the one who's a cloud in the armor, the woman that you met before with the long sort of white hair, and the one who is in the robes, dedicated as the Keeper, both adjust slightly in their chair, as if the sort of question that was brought forward is an uncomfortable one. You see their eyes sort of scanning the rest of the council. And you are the only one who sees that because of your passive perception.
Zara usually doesn't let it, like, show that she notices things. But she's just gonna look at them and tilt her head.
Prim notices
Okay.
that they're also not paying attention to the conversation and feels a little bit better about the fact they don't know what's going on.
Amazing. The Scythe Bear quickly changes topics. Right. In that we do not waste any more of your time, is there anything else that you feel is pertinent to discuss? Should you have some sort of base of operations, well, we may be able to help secure the line between here and there so that you can enter the city easier, but also our people may begin to spread out a little bit more. Doing so would be difficult, but
Not impossible?
not impossible. And it would be good to know that we have allies. Now, I presume it's just the 6 of you.
We are
And our
the-
companion.
Well, no, because we have the actual. We have residents within our base now. Remember, Fess?
Their
Yes.
eyes narrow.
We are the
Living.
people who go out and go out and scout. We are the ones who go out on the excursions, but we do now have people of our own to secure the area to keep the base in operational order while we're away. And they also
They are part of some kind of order or something.
so there were three groups. It's 2 or 3. I don't remember.
2.
That sent us assistance. Event. I guess.
Yeah.
There was Lumbine, the Sanctuary. Did this the? Is it the Order of the Silver Sword or something? But I don't think we we've worked with them. I wouldn't know. That's more on the others, because we haven't been around for too long.
No, we
joined up
we actually
after
aren't
Lumbine.
even from this plane. I don't have a head count. I can't remember. Been too busy. Kind of had my head in a book, actually. But yeah, we have more to our number, but they are not likely to join us in our travels or incursions into the city. But I do think that securing a some kind of path between your establishment and our base of operations would be a good idea.
No, it's obviously something that we will have to address with those at our base.
Yes, I suppose we would have to ask questions.
Well, considering that many of them may immediately assume upon seeing any shackled or even unshackled that they might be wary and potentially act aggressively.
Which is that I tell you, watch the eyes. Should the eyes glow beyond... well, it's a little bit difficult, because sometimes they do still glow after the fact, but... you know when someone is just completely out of it and they just stare so blankly? You'll notice that the shackles continuously do that. There's no sort of intention with their eye movements. It's very blank look, no...
Vacant.
Vacant is a good word for it, yes. Those of us who are free from that, well, we don't suffer that as much. The glow sometimes dissipates, but sometimes doesn't. We don't know if there's a relation to that or not, or if it's just a coincidence for some types of undead. You have to understand that there's quite a lot of types here of us.
Oh,
you know.
Yes, I have observed that.
Yes, some of them, it's very occasionally, so we have ones that were simply freed with the scythe, but then there are others who need to get a little bit more assistance in releasing them from, for example, Enclair here is what we would call a revenant. They're typically found with just burning anger. Even when we release them with the scythe, that burning anger is still present.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we have worked with magical practitioners as well as prayer and study to sort of help them focus without that.
Do you think it has anything to do with how long they were under... How long they were shackled?
But the best of our understanding is that it is dependent on the type. Emil can probably speak on it a little bit more.
Well, because, like, some naturally occurring undead would likely be haunted by regrets or something, correct?
That is correct. This is when Emil speaks up. Well, naturally, yes, it's a weird word, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
So phantasms, such as the lovely Madeline. There's a hole, quite literally, in their chest that slowly burns away until they are nothing more. So it is, yes, that is correct. So it is just, you have to understand there is quite a lot of different types of undeath here in the city, and how they are created, such as the Reborn, the Ghouls, the Irlin, the Phantasms, the Revenants, and then the Death Knights. Each and every one has been created through a different process. So we try not to discriminate, but watch the eyes. The eyes will tell you, yes, and look for the patches. That we all wear the scythe as a pouch. If the vote for my proposed research retinue is approved, I will ensure that the people that we send are the most well-mannered and behaved, to ensure there's no conflict with those who surprisingly still live, as it seems that you suggest. That is good to know, if you will have us, of course. And we will need nothing but the mushrooms that we will likely bring. With that in mind, I can't think of if there's anything that needs to be discussed prior to the vote. From what I understand, there's 2 votes that I have proposed. One for the research party, and one for the whether or not we disclose the locations that we believe are relevant.
Yes.
Is there anything that you require to continue your quest? I can't offer food. Technically we have some alcohol, but I'm sure it's well old. Knowledge we are more than happy to share with you. And as to items and such, we don't really have a whole lot. Protection, we could offer protective wards. Maybe some of the candle witches could help you. But well, you seem to believe that food is no good here. We could discuss. I was gonna say we could discuss seeds, but I can't quite think.
Oh no, seeds might be fine. The seeds might be fine. I would actually be of that would be of interest to me. I am testing out growing, so having access to more of a variety of seeds would be of quite a bit of use to me.
I would not wish to offer up the tender's stock, and that's when Enclair speaks up. Oh no, it would be no trouble. We don't use them at all. We simply just grow the mushrooms, but at the beginning there was a large effort to collect a large number of seeds to test and see what sustained our hunger. So, I'd be more than happy to provide that for you all. We have a large selection. I could, if this retinue research party were to trade and come to your place, I think we could provide that if that's something that you wished.
Absolutely. I think that would be great.
Very well. I would also point out that we don't have a whole lot of spells who could help. However, we have noticed that purifying things have helped stay the sort of effects. So that may be, but if you have a druid among you,
or possibly one of your residents. Possibly they could help in ensuring the purity of that which remains.
Ah, yes,
That's
I
a good
believe
point.
there is some sort of magical effect.
Possibly a solution. But we will know more the more we research. So, with that in mind, I would like to cast the first vote in regards to the research party. I believe that it is pertinent that we send our scholars to research this and assist you. So I vote aye on research. As for the in regards to should we provide information, I am going to abstain, as my knowledge is not sufficient enough, I believe, for what you seek.
It is at this point the Keeper of Knowledge, who has been speaking to you, here and there, speaks up.
Well, I guess we're casting votes. I'm aye for both. I think I've explained my reasoning quite sufficient.
Max looks at this point. He sort of rolls his eyes a little bit.
Right, well, I guess we are voting now at this point. I don't know why I am bothered to the Scythe Bearer if I'm not the one calling the votes, but so be it. I shall cast the final vote, as is tradition. Well, okay, you'll keep going around the circle, I suppose. With Enclair and Emile having voted, Madeline, your vote, please. And you see as she votes aye for both. It goes to then, she gestures to Violet. Well, I am more than happy to see where this goes. I can't necessarily provide any sort of my Mort Guardian to assist you, because we are shush-thinned as it is. But we can provide as much intel as we possibly could. And I wish you all the best. They gesture to Xavier, the one who's dressed in the leathers. And Xavier doesn't speak, but just raises his hand, thumbs down, and then raises his other hand, thumbs down. Max speaks up. Okay, I will take that as a nay on both of them. Right, Clovis, speaks up. Look, you all seem like lovely people, but I must be honest with you all. We have just met you, and I don't know if it is wise for us to just trust blindly in a bunch of people who don't understand what we are going through. Whilst I admire your tenacity, I have to be mindful of the position that my people would take. I do ask that you do seek to show kindness to whoever you see, because it is a freedom that we all deserve. But I am voting nay for both.
It's at this point the final vote regarding to the release and the location is going to come down to Max. Max, who looks at you all. As to the research, I think more knowledge is always important, so I will more than happily vote yay, aye, for the researching. As to the location info, it is a difficulty. And I understand that my vote is the final one in this matter. Were I to vote against it, it would be insufficient for quorum. But takes a sort of deep breath if an undead could take a deep breath. I would like to see a brighter future. And if sending you all in there is the answer, then I am not against it. And should you all fail, you're all dead anyways. Yes, we can provide the information for you all. It will take us some time to, right. Therefore, the vote is in favor of both matters. Look, we can provide that to you with the research party. It's going to take us a while to ensure that all the information and intel is gathered from the various labor groups. So if you were to provide, I will appoint a Mio to handle that. A simple general note on where we could find your location. A day or two, we could, depending on the travel, we can ensure that that information is brought to you all. Does that seem like a sufficient sort of agreement?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. This was kind of our last stop for today, so we were intending to head back to base after this. At least I think so.
Very well.
Do you have a map that we could mark the location on for you?
Was it on Westbury Winery?
Well, you like kind of stops you from speaking. I would not recommend speaking it aloud with a crowd around, just in case there are bad actors.
Yeah, no, that was me asking OOC what the name.
Oh yes, is Westbury.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't have a map per se. We could probably draw something up pretty quickly. But with that, the council is adjourned. You are welcome guests in the city, but I do advise you that you do not stay here overnight. Look, the people here
Everybody
are
has
kind, but I would not advise it. Right. All right. So we will do a little time skip here. We'll say that you guys get them the notes, get them the information. It is now my question, though, is what is your guys' intention as a group to where this goes next?
I killed the rest of the party.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Game over.
Dead.
It turns out that I was the bad guy
All along.
all along.
The
Maybe-
BBEG was Echo the entire time?
Maybe the real enemies were the friends we made along the way.
It's true.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
So deep.
All right. So, right. So you guys headed back to your base, or are you guys continuing to explore the city?
I'm moderately sure we chose that we said we were gonna stop, go investigate this, because one, it had got our eye when we entered, and two, the Baroness sent us to investigate, aka try to take out the sword in her side. But we most of us didn't need decided that was a bad idea. I think those were our two goals for today, because this is pretty close to the entrance we used.
It's literally
Yeah, we
next to
didn't-
it.
We don't want to
Yeah.
go too far away from that entrance.
And we've already stopped by the magic shop and recovered what we could there.
All right. So I will
So-
take this, if there's no objections, of you heading back to Westbury.
I think sounds
As-
good.
You make your way home, the sun setting beneath the cloud later. You're welcome home to a sort of pleasant smell of food that the Mothman has cooked up for you all. And with that,
Mothman.
we will end today's session. However, there is something I would like to say. As you all start to take your long rest, and we'll spend next session, you guys can go through all the magic items that you guys have collected, trying to understand them. We'll have a home session. You guys can do a Bastion thing there. However, it is my honor to tell you all that you may level up to level 6.
Let's go. We're so back.
With
This toast
level
just got crunchier. Let's go.
level 5, I feel you guys leveled up to level 5.
Feels a while ago.
When did
From what I understand, a while ago, because it was before Fanny and I started
Before I
playing.
came
Yeah, it's a fucking while ago.
It was session
Almost a
29.
year.
Session 29. So that would
What
have
are we
been. We're in 44.
Jesus!
So exactly 15 episodes ago?
Oh my god!
That's actually not what I was referencing, by the way.
I know, but
There's no, I was saying that something, and the group who has been here since the beginning has noticed, has popped up every, I don't know, 15 episodes or so. I'm sure it's fine. It's just a coincidence. Not every 15, it's like, but I'm sure there's you guys remember your little excursions that you guys have had so far? And now you know there's gonna be 7 of them.
Oh god.
huh?
So that's what. Oh, so you're trying to kill us, and that's why you're leveling us. You have like a fighting chance. Got
I'm
it.
sure you're fine. They have no interest in seeing you all. But let's see, when was the last one? Because the first one was.
These react really good to those ones. Zara's a pro
It's
at
been a while.
those.
The last one was level 26. So who knows?
Isn't that the greed one?
It was greed.
Definitely.
And before that,
No, I did half
Well,
of them
that
because
was
I knew I
envy.
wasn't there
Oh,
for
that
the
was
second
envy.
half. Yes.
was the second one Envy?
I think the first one was Envy because I got Envy's ring.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out when that was. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, the newbies. But in this world, it's the kitty cats. It's the 7 cats.
Yep.
And they're one each represents each sin. I don't know when it was. It was probably. I think it was like episode.
It's a while ago, Jesus.
Was it episode 13 when it was? Let me see.
I haven't thought about the cats in Jesus Christ. Okay.
Wasn't 13. It would have been. Let's see. Maybe it
Was also there for the last one.
the Horseman, Fires, Sanctuary, Tree Huggers, New Allies.
The only thing I remember from the second one was
I remember what it was.
Rough
It was
farting in the room.
It was before. It might have been episode 3, actually. I shit you not. No.
Yeah.
No. Wasn't here.
It was.
No,
It was pretty early on, but it wasn't episode
pretty
3.
early.
But
It was
pretty early on.
I think it was 4.
There was the hut, and then we went into it.
Yeah. 4, 5. It would have been. Maybe it's 6. It might have been episode 6 when that happened. I should have titled it Envy. I don't know why I didn't.
Statue that we had to
Yeah, it was.
ignore.
Yeah.
It was episode 6, and then it was episode 26. So I guess there's over 20 episodes that I've been doing it, so I'm sure it's fine. But you guys can level up in roll 20. And now I think everyone here. I gotta talk to Shannon. But let me go through. We'll do this on stream real quick. You don't have to do the rolls and whatnot, but you guys can.
Can we do it in the character master thingy?
Oh, I don't know if character manager is working.
Well, it depends on if you built your character with the builder. Because I didn't, so I can't use character manager.
So yeah, I wouldn't use character manager here.
Okay.
I think I've been letting you guys do the average for your health increase, so that's normal. You just do that. That's your constitution plus, or it's your hit die average plus your constitution modifier. So if you have a d8, it's 5 plus your con. But in terms of level 6, Rogue, you're going to be getting expertise. We can go over that in a second. Is anyone... I should ask. Is everyone going to be leveling up their normal thing, or is anyone multi-classing?
I might multi-class.
Okay.
Barbarian.
It's always one difficult
Barbarian?
one.
Barbarian? Oh god.
Barbarian.
Actually,
Barbarian.
wait a minute.
What did I say about... I think I said if you guys want...
I think I talked to you about what I want. I already talked to you a while ago about how I wanted to level Owl. Hold on, I'll find that.
One thing I will say, with the 2024 stuff versus the 14 stuff, I think I said you have to pick one or the other. However, I was okay with you guys using the weapon level thing changed. If you guys wanted to do that as a martial class, I would be fine with that. I think that is what I said. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Subclass
and with spells.
Yeah, and spells, yeah. So you can choose between 2024 or 2015 or 14. You can multi-class, but you have to take the same version. We can homebrew these a bit if you want. Subclass, you must make the version that matches your core choice. If it does not exist to match, use the existing version. Adds to spell list, you can mix and match. Feats, whatever. Weapon masteries. So, what I said is these are typically granted by the 2024 class core abilities. However, if your class would normally get one of these 2014 abilities, we can do that. So weapon masteries are sort of like leveling up your skills with a weapon in particular. So it's like a way martial classes can get more powerful as spells get more powerful. So if any of the marshals want to take that, we can. But that's that. Let me see. I'll keep going through my thing. Let's see here. Warlock, if you're gonna not... You said you're multi-classing, so what are you doing for multi-class, do you think?
Wait, what? I'm multi-classing?
No, it
I
was
thought
Pez.
Oh, it was Pez who said that. Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know how to listen. I'm sorry.
Barbarian.
Bodbarian. So you're gonna get
Barbarian.
our lovely warlock. You're gonna be getting level 6 otherworldly patron thing, which this one's pretty nice. That's your I don't want to explain what you are. I don't want to out you, but you'll get a new ability for that.
Yes, I'm Pan. Okay, it's fine. It's out there.
Let's see here. Rogue, I think you're multi-classing. Sorcerer, are you going to be multi-classing? Do you know yet?
No.
And you are... I think you've already told everyone what you are. But you get new spells, and you get a greater control over your phases. And then cool. Druid, I think, is actually finally getting her she'll get level 3 spells now.
Love
yeah.
level 3 spells on Druid.
Yeah. So, because... Oh, no, she would have... No, yeah, because she's level 5 now, Druid, I think. But yeah, let's do that real quick. We'll do that. If you guys don't want your new class to be outed, you can DM me. But everyone else, does anyone not feel confident adding it to your spell sheets and whatnot, and I can help?
Me.
Okay. So, you're just going another level in Ranger, I believe?
Yeah.
I'd recommend it. Okay, Swarm Keeper.
Yeah.
Level 6. So you get a few things. So, you gain an additional favored terrain, and you can choose one additional favored enemy. Though I think I said I would give you the... Oh, yeah. Okay, so you took... Is that for Natural Explorer? I think it is. Yeah, you didn't take Natural Explorer favored enemy. Let me see where it is. So favored foe and probably Deft Explorer, although I don't see Deft Explorer in here. Maybe it's under your features and traits.
I do have it under featured and traits, yeah. Deft Explorer, extra attack, favored foe.
Okay, so I don't think you get any bonus for favored foe, but you'll get an additional benefit when you reach level 6. So your walking speed is now by level 5. You also gain a climbing speed and a swimming speed equal to your walking speed. So let me do that. Don't touch anything on your thing right now. So
Okay.
no, you're fine. I just gotta try that again. Okay, manage. So your hit die, what's your hit die as a ranger? It's let me just do this. What is it? It's D10, so 6. What's your con mod? 1, so you gain an additional 7 health. So you're at 46. I also think I just heard a Shannon. Hello.
Sorry, I'm late.
No, it's not your fault. Don't you fucking apologize for it. I'll kick your ass. I will kick your ass. You shut the fuck
You
up.
have no way to control that. How dare you?
I know, but like it's still really annoying, and I just really didn't want to give you like a shitty iPad microphone with.
You're fine.
Just
I'm gonna kick
Just
your
have
ass
some
if
Billy
you keep
Bam.
apologizing.
Go away.
Make me.
You don't like. Wait.
No,
you,
the Billy
you don't-
Bear
You
hat.
don't like Billy Bam?
I hate
Ham
it.
Chan?
All right. So you're.
That's crazy.
Who just dropped? Oh,
Shan.
Shan left. Shan was not okay with that. Okay, so your override walking is going to be 40, your climbing is 40, and your swimming is 40. A quick little fucker.
So
Damn, I can swim
Jesus
at 40
Christ.
with feathers all over me? Damn.
You're like a little duck
Hydrophobic. Not as.
gloating through the wire.
You're like
Duck.
you're like the bird that like dives into the water, grabs its prey, and comes straight back out.
So
Kingfishers?
Yeah.
You don't get any more spell slots or known spells, so don't need to worry about that. And I think everything else
Oh,
is
it's also
set.
not lost on me that the bird asked about getting seeds.
Oh,
Look,
your
I'm just trying to make sure my flock is fed. Gotta keep the murder healthy and happy.
Yep.
when
The
you hit a
murder
creature with attack
hobos must
roll,
be sated.
Mhm.
right, the first time each of your turns you hit the favorite enemy and deal damage to it. When you mark it, you can increase that damage. Okay, so you get, does your proficiency change? No. Okay, so your favorite enemy thing, remember, which is the thing where you can, or favorite foe, I just read the wrong one, didn't I? No, I read the right one. Favorite foe is now a D6 instead of a D4,
Nice.
which it's probably in here.
Just
or is it
lets me be like, tap into my Corvid memory thing where I'm like, I don't like this guy's face. I remember this guy.
Why isn't it updating? Can you close your sheet for me, please?
Yes, I can. And closed.
Why isn't it? Let me open and close it.
I actually got a new T-shirt with a crow on it that says,
There we go.
"I never forget a face," and it has a knife in its beak.
That's amazing.
That's great.
I love that.
Because I don't know if you know this, but they've actually done studies, and through generations of crows, they've taught them, they had a fake dead crow, and they wore a mask, and they went into a park, and basically walked around with this fake dead crow, and the crow's like 3 generations on actually remembered that mask and would like follow the person alerting, like, be careful, the person with the mask is back. Like, they have some
That's
form of facial recognition. It's
psychotic.
really cool.
Can you imagine like someone, like another species doing that to us? Yeah, so what we did is we grabbed a human corpse. Well, it's not real, it just looks real.
Yeah.
And then we dragged it around the local city.
Huh?
And then 150 years later, we came back.
Uh-huh. And they were like, oh shit, the people with the corpse. They're back.
Oh my god, it's the legend.
Legends are true. Okay, so Shannon, I'm gonna do your thing now. So your is a D8, so you get 5 additional hit points, plus your con mod, which is dose, so 7, so you're at 45. So that goes to 45. Okay, and then your spell slots is gonna be, it's gonna be May. All right, this goes to 3 manage spell slots. You have a 3, and it's actually, I haven't updated this, so full 3/3.
I just realized, no, you'd be taking the corpse to the local kindergarten because the kids are the ones that remember it.
Oh, Shannon, I didn't bother to ask, but I assume you want to level up in Druid again, right?
I'm gonna get back to you on that. Because there's some stuff with the cleric level 2 that I'm actually very interested in, so I'm just...
So you would...
I'll get
Okay.
back to you.
Right, I've already started upgrading your stuff here, but if you want to do that, it's not that big of a deal.
You know, if it's easier, like I can do Druid again.
I would recommend...
It's not easier or harder, it's just different.
I would recommend waiting on that if you're going to level up your cleric stuff. Whilst it's nice,
Okay.
it's... Let me pull up the thing just to double check. So that would be another one in this. So what do you get it to? You channel divinity. Oh, okay, I can see why you want it.
That's why. I'm like, oh, that would be very beneficial. So,
Yeah, no, I get that. All right, let me just change something then. So I don't actually have to change. Cleric is still a D8, correct? Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
So I literally just have to do this. Now, you're very lucky, let me tell you, that you have another full spellcaster in your party. The only issue is healing spells are going to be
I cast spells.
You're technically a half caster, I believe.
Cast this.
Cast this.
Cast
Okay.
this.
So
Jesus.
level 2.
2025.
Okay, so I gotta add. Oh my god. Okay, wait.
I'm sorry.
Shut the fuck up. Don't apologize. Kick your ass. I'll kick your ass.
Wow.
I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. All right. Is this the right thing?
Shan.
Yes.
Caught in 4K Ash emote.
Did you want one? I can make one.
Yes, please. Yes, I
will
pay.
make one. No, it's
pay.
okay. I'll just
No, I pay. I just
Pay
want it.
You can't do the Lily voice. That's cheating.
Mom, I miss you.
I have stuff to talk to you about that, actually.
Hey, yo. All right. Why isn't this dropping?
It's Lily. Sarah's Lily's mom.
Shannon, can you close your character sheet, please?
Yes. It is done.
Why can't I? Oh, okay, you bitch. Okay. Right. All right. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck.
That's the spirit.
Fuck it all. Fuck it
did they-
all.
Did they?
Go ahead.
I didn't realize 2024 changed sorcerers into prepared casters.
Oh, did they? Do you want to change to? Do you want to change?
Well, because I don't now. I have to go back and recall what I chose to do.
Because you did 14. I don't think a single person did 2024.
Okay. Okay, so that's why I didn't have this. Okay. Alright, let me. I was looking at the wrong one then. Yeah.
Okay, where did this go? Oh. Wait, why didn't that work? Oh, weird. Oh, because I didn't click apply. God, fuck me. Okay. Now I gotta click apply. There we go. Save. Okay. So, you got that one. Alright, I'm gonna end stream. Let's find out who to go raid, because this music's gonna drive me insane. Chat, like I said, VODs are gonna be a bit weird. I gotta figure it out. I'll figure it out. It's fine. Let us in tomato. Let's go love some to Neon Eve, who's playing on purple. I know I don't play any purple anymore, but she's a good friend. So go give her some love, chat, and I shall see you all tomorrow, because we're gonna be doing board games, hopefully, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out.
Ooh.
You guys are welcome to join anyone in the VC. Bye. There we go.
Bye.